The scent of rain lingered in the air as Elise stepped into the small, cozy cafe on the corner of Willow Street. Her breath caught for a moment when she saw him. Noah. He was sitting by the window, nursing a steaming cup of coffee, his face partially shadowed by the gray afternoon light. She hadn't seen him in so long, years in fact. But that didn't stop her heart from doing a funny little flip at the sight of him. It amazed her that after all these years, he was still able to make her feel this way. Despite her delight at seeing him, she had to admit she was nervous. She felt like turning around and exiting through the door, but her feet didn't move. They couldn't. 5 years of silence stretched between them, heavy and impenetrable. After a while, he turned and saw her by the door. Their eyes locked, and neither had the will or desire to look away. Elise stood still as a torrent of emotions ran through her. Fear, elation, desperation, and finally hope. Maybe it will be okay after, all she thought, and began moving towards him. Elise, Noah said, standing as she approached. His voice was deeper, now more grounded, than she remembered, but unmistakably his. Noah, she replied softly, offering a tentative smile. The years had changed them both. Elise's curly hair, once wild and untamed, was now styled neat and sleek, resting on her slender shoulders. Straight and stylish, it spoke volumes about the fact that, until recently, she was away in the big city. Noah had changed too. His usual shoulder-length wavy brown hair was now closely cropped, and the beginnings of crow's feet could be seen around his eyes. But the essence of them, the energy that crackled from him whenever they were near, remained. He watched her for a bit, staring as if he couldn't believe she was really here. Feeling a little self-conscious, she looked away. "Thanks for meeting me," he said, pulling out a chair for her. She sat, folding her hands together on the table. "I wasn't sure if I should." "You almost didn't. It wasn't a question," and her eyes moved to his face, searching his eyes. Was he hurt by her indecision? The slight tilt of his lips betrayed a mix of amusement and something softer, something closer to uncertainty. She felt bad seeing that look in his eyes, knowing she had put it there. She remembered the pain she had caused him years ago. Years ago when she walked away from him, from them. The pain wasn't all his, though. Elise has spent the last 5 years regretting her decision to leave, but not knowing how to find her way back. The breakup was her doing, and she spent the last 5 years broken because of that choice. She remembered how much she had hurt him with that decision, and now felt that she owed him this meeting. The breakup was inevitable, at least that's what Elise thought at the time. They were both too young and too stubborn, their love a tempest of passion and pride. Elise had dreams of moving to the city and pursuing her career as a journalist. For her, the small town was stifling, a place so provincial and predictable it made her want to cry. But Noah, the love of her life, was rooted in their small coastal town. He couldn't imagine leaving his family's fishing business behind. So, in the summer after they both finished college, Elise decided it was time to go. "We want different things," Elise had said that night, tears streaming down her face. She flung them away in frustration and anger, feeling her resolve to be brave, crumbling now that she was actually telling Noah about her desire to leave. "I want you," Noah had argued, stepping closer to her. He tried holding her, touching her, but she moved away. No, you don't," she countered. "You only say that because I am all you know. You have never lived outside of this town. You don't know what is out there or who is out there in the big, wide world." Her words had hurt him. She saw it in his eyes and the way his face closed down. She was calling him unexposed, a small-town boy with little ambitions. It was insulting, but she said the words and couldn't take them back. "So this is goodbye then," he said quietly, and resigned. "Yes, this is goodbye," she replied, folding her arms across her stomach, defiant, protective. "Can I hold you, just one last time?" he asked. She knew she shouldn't say yes. It was a bad idea to let him touch her because it was never just a touch between them. It was always so much more. She should have said no, but despite knowing better in a thin, small voice, she said yes. Noah moved closer to her and held her in his arms, resting his forehead to hers. They stood still for a moment, weighing up the enormity of what was happening between them. There was so much to say, and yet nothing at all. "I love you," he finally said. Usually, Elise would say "I love you" right back, but she didn't. Instead, she closed her eyes and held back the burning tears. Lightly, he touched his lips against hers, seeking permission and testing her resolve. A fire flickered inside Elise, and she opened her mouth a bit. This little encouragement was all Noah needed. He kissed her deep and slow, claiming not just her lips but her body in a dance of passion as old as time. When it was over, Elise came back to earth in a haze of realization that she had told Noah with her body the total opposite of what she said with her words. "Say you'll stay," he said, sensing that she was starting to move away. "Noah, please, I have to go." "Elise," he began, her name a plea. But she cut him off. "I have to go, Noah, don't you see? There is nothing here for me." "Nothing here?" he repeated, his voice raw with hurt and anger. "I'm nothing." "I'm sorry," she said, but he didn't acknowledge her. Noah got up from the bed, dressed, and left her. They'd parted ways that night, carrying the weight of unspoken regret. Now, as they sat together in the tiny, cozy cafe with the rain pouring outside, there was silence between them. There was so much to say, yet neither knew where to begin. Noah finally broke the silence. "So, the city treated you well?" "It did." Elise hesitated. "I'm back now, though, for good." His eyebrows lifted in surprise. "Really? Why?" "A lot of reasons." She shrugged, her gaze falling to her cup. "Work wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it'd be, and I missed this place." Noah's lips quirked. "The town? Or the people?" Elise laughed, a sound he hadn't realized he had missed until now. "Both." "What about you?" she asked. "Still fishing?" "Still fishing," he confirmed, "and teaching a bit. I started a program for the kids in town, teaching them about the water, the trade." "That's amazing, Noah." Her admiration was genuine, and it warmed something inside him that he hadn't realized had gone cold. "So what are you going to do now that you are back here? I mean, in terms of work." "Well, I started a news channel online. It's just me for now, but it has been doing well. I figure I can do it here." "A news channel, you mean like a commentary show?" he asked. "Yes, exactly that." She lit up with delight at his recognition of what she does. They talked for hours as the downpour outside faded into a gentle drizzle. They reminisced about old memories, their late-night drives, the time they got stranded on the lake, the time Noah carved their initials into the sycamore tree, and she had laughed and said it was corny. Each story bridged the chasm of time, pulling them closer back into the people they once were. But it wasn't until the cafe closed and they walked out into the cool night that the air between them shifted. Standing under the awning, Elise hesitated, her eyes searching his. "I thought about you," she admitted. "A lot." His hand brushed hers, a fleeting touch that sent sparks up her arm. "Me too," he said. "But I thought, after everything, you were better off." "Maybe I was, but it didn't feel like it." He let out a sigh heavy with pent-up longing. She was saying all the things he needed to hear, and God. He wanted to believe her. He wanted to believe in her. He wanted her all over again. Noah was surprised that after all these years she still had such an effect on him. There was nothing he wouldn't give to hold her in his arms right here, right now. "I thought of you too," was all he said. They stood looking at each other, the confession hanging between them, fragile and full of possibilities. Over the next weeks, their meetings became frequent, unplanned, inevitable, and wholly welcomed. A chance encounter at the market turned into a shared walk along the beach. A quick coffee break became hours lost in conversation. Each moment felt like a step closer to something they both were too afraid to name. One evening, as they sat under the sycamore tree, now overgrown but still standing, Noah turned to her. "Why did you really come back, Elise?" She looked at him, the moonlight reflecting in her eyes. "I realized something. No matter where I went, I always felt like I'd left a piece of myself behind." His voice was barely above a whisper. He asked, "And now?" She smiled, her fingers brushing his. "Now I think I found it." Noah didn't respond with words. He leaned in, closing the distance that had stretched between them for so long. Their lips met, and the years melted away, leaving only the present, a moment brimming with love, hope, and the promise of a second chance. Months later, they stood hand in hand on the beach, watching the sunrise. The past still lingered, but it no longer held them captive. Together, they were writing a new story, a story of rediscovery, forgiveness, and a love that had never truly faded. The echo of their past had brought them back to each other, and this time, they were ready to hold on.